Is this super yacht worth $8 billion? That is the question, right? Well, we're gonna get into all the details of that today, and by the end of this video, you'll know the truth about this boat. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So, where are we today? We're in Imperia. This is down the coast from Genoa. I've just driven here, and it was quite the drive. The weather in Genoa was atrocious when I left. Anyway, we're in Imperia Marina. There's quite a few nice yachts in today. Some of the small ones, there's a couple of big ones. There's a boat here that got quite famous a while ago, not this one. A gold coloured boat called Kalela, which I'm going to go and look at in a minute, and I'll tell you the backstory once we get there. This is a beauty. Look at this. I have no idea about sailing vessels. It's called Meteor, and what I can say is the wood that is in there must take some upkeep, and they've put a cover over it obviously to protect it, but the chrome and the wood in there is fantastic. My dad would love that. It's just his cup of tea, I think. Look at that. Wow, that is super impressive. It's like a museum. The sun is coming out and I can feel the heat is fantastic. What a result. All right, guys, so this is a motor yacht Kalela. Now, she's actually a Palmer Johnson, built in the US. Well, it was a Palmer Johnson build. The hull was built in Norway. I can't remember the name of the company. I'll put it up on the screen. The hull was built in Norway, and then it was the body was built in Norway, and then it was sent over to the US, finished. It was designed, interior and exterior was designed by Palmer Johnson in the US, and it was delivered in 2014. It's about 490 meters, about 490 gross tons, 48 meters in length, and I think it's got a beam of 11 meters. And the reason why, I mean, it's a striking looking yacht, isn't it? But the reason why this came into the news fairly recently, when I say news, I mean YouTube news, not like on CNN or something, was because there was a few videos that got released that talked about a gold-plated super yacht that was worth $8 billion. And in that video, it was completely fake, by the way, in that video they actually showed two different yachts, and this was one of the yachts they showed, and the idea was that this billionaire in the Middle East bought a yacht and then had it gold-plated. Can you imagine the weight of that on the hull if that actually happened? So this hull is actually a composite, and it's actually made out of carbon fiber and painted gold. But a lot of people watched that video, and I actually put some comments on the video saying it was completely bogus. Look at the gangway, passerelle. It's a plank of wood. I've never seen anything like that before, not on a super yacht. That's very strange. It's almost like they don't have a they don't have a passerelle. I don't see a passerelle in actual fact. A boat, normally you'll have some passerelle that comes out. I think it must be broken. They usually come out, you know, like telescopic. They come out on hydraulics, but I don't see anything there. But that's very strange. It's not very safe, is it? So you can actually see that hole there. I think that's where the passerelle would come out, but it's missing. So it must be broken, and they've removed it to repair it, and then they've gone with this low-tech solution. That's super dangerous, especially if you're coming back from a night out. People fall off gangways even when it's got rails. So Kalela has got two M94 MTU diesel engines, and it cruises at 15 knots, but it actually has a top speed of 26 knots, which is about 48 kilometers an hour, or about 27 miles per hour, which is very impressive. That's probably something to do with it being a composite hull. But it's got a very, it almost looks like some sort of a spaceship. The design of the hull is very unusual. And if you can see that, it's almost like a trimaran, but it's not. I don't know what those fins on the exterior are for, but they must help with that top speed. But that is a very impressive top speed. What a great name for a boat. My Escape. The weather has really turned for the better. Fantastic. I was expecting it to be raining. I was really concerned that was going to be a washout, but I couldn't have asked for better weather, really. We're in the SuperYacht Marina. I love it. We're in the SuperYacht Marina, and yeah, to cross over to this side, you've got this rickety little bridge here with bits of metal stuck on top of it. Listen to it. I can feel it moving as I walk across it. Alright guys, so we're finally getting to the area where all the big boats are. This is what I came to see. I mean, I came to see all of it, but these are the ones that I'm most interested in. So let's check them out. All right, so here we have Yacht Secret. Now, if you watch all my videos, you'll know who owns this boat. It's a woman called Nancy Walton Lowry. Now, if you're from the US, you'll know immediately who that is. Now, she's one of the daughters of the founder of Walmart, and she recently purchased, or a couple of years ago, purchased Motor Yacht Jubilee, the 110 meter Jubilee. And this is now for sale. So the Jubilee name was changed to Chaos, spelled K-A-O-S, and Secret has been for sale ever since. No nibbles so far as I know. So you can take 12 guests, I would imagine, in 6 cabins, a crew of 23, and a gross tonnage of 2,200 gross tons, registered in Georgetown in the Cayman Islands. Now, when she bought Chaos, initially they changed the name of Chaos to Secret 3, which was weird because there was no Secret 2. And then a few months later, they changed it again to Chaos, which kind of fitting, isn't it, when you consider the name changes. Okay, so this is Predator, built by Fedship. This is slightly older, 2008. And it's actually 72 meter, and it only has room for 6 guests, which is quite a few for a vessel of its size. But you know, maybe he hasn't got many friends. It lives here, so every time I've been here in the past 2 years, this vessel has been here. So, and I know someone who used to work on board, and they told me that. This is its permanent home. Next to that we have Universe, Motor Yacht Universe, built by Amels in 2018, so she's relatively new, 3 years old now. 12 guests in 6 cabins, crew of 19, one of them standing by the door on his phone, by the looks of it. They sound like Russian. They were speaking Russian on the radio, interestingly. And then next to Universe we have Galaxy, which is quite funny. So which is bigger, the Galaxy or the Universe? In this instance, the Galaxy is smaller than the Universe. Well, that's always the case, isn't it? Thinking about it. So this is a 50 meter. And it's a Bonetti, actually, registered in the Creek, which is in Cayman Islands also. It's just that it's one of the 3 registries they have in the Cayman Islands. And if you look up on the thing there, you see the little antenna there? That's for the Wi-Fi, I think, in the marina. And some marinas have a plug. Some marinas have a plug down here. So down here you've got your water supply. That blue hose there is your water supply. And then you've got your electrics, the yellow, And then usually the marina will have an Ethernet cable, or an Ethernet socket should I say, and you just plug in, and you run the cable on board, plug into your switch. But in this marina they don't have that, so they have these little beacons, the little Wi-Fi boosters, and you get one from the marina when you come in, fit it up, and then you get Wi-Fi for the crew. Well, if you ever come to Imperia, there's a nice viewing tower. Right? Well, it's not a viewing tower, it's like a wall. It's got a viewing area, and you can see all the yachts quite nicely. But there's no restriction from walking down inside here. No one challenges you anyway. So you can walk around in the section over here where the gates are. Sometimes it is closed, but today it's not, it's open. So something interesting just happened. Unfortunately I wasn't filming, I flew my drone. Something wrong with my drone actually, but I flew my drone over the vessels, and I just mentioned there was Russians speaking on the radio, and one of the Russians came running up the stairs and said, "Hey mister, you can't fly here, I called port authority." So he's probably already called them, because I said okay, but I was still flying, and he said it twice. So I said okay, and then he left. So I would imagine he's already called them, because he didn't come back, and I was still flying. So, but there's no restrictions in flying here. So I mean, I'm very careful about that kind of thing. I don't fly in Genoa at all, because I know you're not allowed to, and there's no restrictions here. So if they do come, there's nothing they can possibly tell me to leave, but they can't arrest me or anything like that, because I haven't done anything wrong, and I'm filming in the public area. So these guys here are the ones out in force trying to intimidate me. I wonder who owns the boat, because they certainly don't want any pictures taken. So it's quite interesting. It's funny, people have a funny idea about drones, because I was filming in front of that boat, and he was stood out on deck and he never said anything. I heard him call someone on the radio in Russian, and then someone else came out, but they never said anything while I was filming with my camera. But as soon as I put the drone up, I mean, I left and went up into that viewing area, so I was out of sight. But as soon as I put the drone up, he came running up the stairs and said, "You can't film." I mean, he was wrong, I can film, but it was just interesting to me that they've got this perception about the drone. Like, the camera's okay, but the drone's not. I mean, what's that about? I just found that very strange. I've seen it quite a bit over the years, people getting upset about drones. They just got it in their head that a drone can see something, you know. I mean, if there were guests on board, fair enough, but there's not. I mean, there's no guests sunbathing in February in Italy, is there? So yeah, quite weird. Maybe they're smuggling something and they didn't want me to see. It's funny, when I made a video a while ago about Nirvana, and I touched upon the subject, which I don't normally bother with, and it was about the rat guards on the lines, and the comments that came from that was quite funny actually, because there were a lot of people telling me that rats can easily get over these rat guards, and that would not be any problem for the rats that they know. It's quite funny. Like, well, I don't know about that, but they obviously work, because people use them. You know, maybe there's ninja rats where you live, but you can see them on most of the lines. Actually, one of the lines doesn't have one there, but so the smart rat will go on that line, right? So my Escape was built in the United Arab Emirates, and it's actually a GRP hull, so it's not a steel hull, which, like most super yachts of this size, would be a steel hull, I would imagine. I think I would prefer to have a steel hull. This was sold last year in July, I think. The asking price for this yacht at the time was 11 million euros, and it was sold. It was for sale by Yacht Zoo, and which is an agency, and the buyer was introduced by Imperial Yachts, and that's another agency. Imperial Yachts are super secretive. I had an interview for a yacht with them once, and they required a non-disclosure agreement just for the interview. And furthermore, when I sent them my CV, and then they insisted I do this video, like a minute video talking about myself, and you know, full length video. So I go on there and I talk about the yachts I've worked on, blah 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 blah, and at the end, and then I send it away, and then it comes back, oh, don't talk about the yachts you've worked on because it's you know, it's top secret apparently. It's on my CV. They've got my CV in front of them, and they're complaining that I mentioned the yachts that are on my CV. All right, so I'm back to where I started. So I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you find it interesting. Please be sure to like the video if you have. It helps to spread the word. It helps. The more likes a video gets, the more times it gets recommended to other people. So please do that. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe right now. Do it. And let me know in the comments what you think. Which is your favorite yacht that you saw today? I think mine's going to be Kalila, just because it's so unusual and the colour's so unusual as well. But anyway, I've got to go and try and rescue my car now. So when I arrived in the marina, the barrier was open. I thought, oh, it's broken, you know, whatever. So I just drove in, parked, and now the barrier's closed. So I don't know how I'm going to get out, because I'm not supposed to be, well, I'm not supposed to park in here, I don't think, but I figured, oh, if it's open, then obviously there's no security, so I'll just park inside the marina. So yeah, gotta go and try and figure out how to get out. Maybe there's another way out. I think I've just spotted a place where I might be able to drive out. Anyway, yeah, that's enough from me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, so this is the exit here. Oh, there's a barrier coming up. Oh yes, so somebody's opening the barrier here. Someone's calling. There's like a machine there that you call and tell them, and they open the barrier for you. So when they open it, I'll drive out. What time? That's perfect timing. There we go. That's so cool. Oh, that's unbelievable. There was a possibility of getting out another way. I saw there was a barrier into the Port Authority building. The fence was down, and I could possibly drive through there, but I didn't know whether the gate was open on the other side. But that was just, the timing couldn't have been more perfect. I even give the thumbs up to the guys if I was meant to be there. Whew, that was lucky. All right, guys, that's really it now. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. GoPro, stop recording.